Representative Ilhan Omar was attacked during a town hall meeting in Minneapolis. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, January 28th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Representative Omar was speaking during a town hall meeting in Minneapolis yesterday when a man suddenly approached her. Police said he used a syringe to spray an unknown liquid at the Minnesota Democrat. A live stream of the event showed the man being tackled to the ground and taken away by security. Here's the moment it happened.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Omar appeared unharmed and continued her event. The Minneapolis Police Department identified the attacker as 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierzak. He was arrested. Omar reacted to the incident in this clip from CNN.
I've survived war, and I'm definitely going to survive intimidation and whatever these people think they can throw at me, because I'm built that way.
Some Democrats criticized the White House and President Donald Trump for their frequent attacks on Omar. Trump has previously described her as garbage. An initial government review found that 2 federal agents shot Alex Pretti. That's our second story. The Department of Homeland Security sent a statement to some members of Congress yesterday. It provides the first official timeline of Saturday's fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. It makes no mention of Pretti brandishing a weapon. That contradicts the comments of Trump officials in the immediate aftermath of the killing. They had described the 37-year-old ICU nurse as a direct threat to federal officers. A growing number of Republicans are challenging the Trump administration's handling of the Pretti killing. That has led the administration to abruptly soften its tone on the incident, including President Trump. He was asked in Iowa yesterday whether he agreed with his officials who had called Pretti a terrorist and an assassin.
Very, very unfortunate incident. I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff. And despite that, I say that's a very unfortunate.
What do you think?
Republicans are increasingly concerned they are likely to lose control of Congress in November's midterm elections. Number 3. Calls are growing to boycott this summer's World Cup because of President Trump. The World Cup is being hosted by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. But most of the games will be held in the U.S., and the soccer tournament is deeply tied to Trump. He has for months cast the tournament as part of his legacy. In return, FIFA, the sport's governing body, awarded Trump a newly invented Peace Prize in December. But for fans, there are increasing concerns about how the tournament will be handled in the U.S. Foreign soccer fans fear difficulties in getting U.S. visas, as well as invasive surveillance measures introduced by the Trump administration, like vetting the social media of those entering the U.S. Some European politicians have called to withdraw their teams from the tournament. They cited Trump's raid to seize Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, his demands to obtain Greenland, and his anti-immigration crackdown. Elon Musk's political involvement is continuing to haunt Tesla. That's number 4. When Tesla shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package for Musk last year, they bet on his ability to drive up the stock price and hit new performance milestones. But those who believed the package would lead Musk to break with the political activity that has left the company in turmoil were mistaken. In recent weeks, Musk has fired off X posts with inflammatory positions. For example, he shared his opinions on the killing of Renee Good by an ICE officer in Minneapolis, alleging it was in self-defense. Tesla's stock price has fallen as Musk's public statements and corporate scandals have amassed controversy. And the company has now lost its status as the world's leading seller of EVs. Bari Weiss announced a shift in strategy at CBS News. That's our fifth story. Weiss became editor-in-chief of CBS News in October after CBS's parent company, Paramount Skydance, bought her conservative opinion website, The Free Press. The high-profile position has put her under intense scrutiny from network staffers and outside critics, including for her decision last month to postpone a 60-minute segment on the treatment of deportees from the U.S. in an El Salvador prison. Yesterday, in an all-staff meeting, Weiss said she wanted the network to appeal to political moderates. She also named a slate of new CBS News contributors. Many of them are from the Free Press, like the British historian Niall Ferguson. The new contributors include people with ties to the Trump administration, like former Trump National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Another new contributor is Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist turned podcaster who has been criticized for platforming health claims without evidence. In September, he said he pays, quote, some attention to how the shapes of people's heads relates to their intellect and steadiness or lack thereof. Number 6. Some Parkinson's symptoms can show up decades before a diagnosis. Many people think of a tremor as the quintessential warning sign of Parkinson's disease. But other lesser-known symptoms can appear years before motor symptoms. One is a loss of the sense of smell. Some scientists think the disease could actually begin in the part of the brain that controls your sense of smell. Another symptom is acting out dreams. Studies show a much higher risk of Parkinson's among those who do. Constipation and dizziness when standing up may also be very early signs of Parkinson's. Of course, some of these are very common symptoms, and they don't necessarily signal a future Parkinson's diagnosis. But if you have a lot of them, or a family history of the disease, it could be worth a chat with your doctor. And at number 7, the recent winter storm may have broken many snowfall records. The recent storm that swept from the southwest to New England brought power outages, crippling ice, and travel disruption. It also brought extraordinary amounts of snow. Snow records dating back to the 1990s may have been broken in more than 30 locations. According to early estimates from the National Weather Service, 19 states reached over 15 inches of snow within 72 hours. But a weather station near Bonito Lake in New Mexico got hit with double that amount. There, 31 inches of snow were recorded in just 72 hours. That's the highest accumulated snowfall recorded in the whole country from this storm. And there's yet another snowstorm brewing this weekend. If this is painful news for you, there are only 50-ish days to go until spring. All right, you're all caught up. I got an email yesterday from a listener called Virginia. She said she listens every morning while brushing her white, long-haired cat for the length of the show, which is exactly how I hope you are all listening. She also had a question that might apply to many of you. She said she can't find the show notes that I often refer to. But here's the twist. Virginia listens by clicking the link in the Sevens newsletter. That means, Virginia, you don't need to find the show notes. You're already in the newsletter, which is what I'm directing people to find. But if you don't listen via our newsletter or app, you do need to find the show notes. They're basically just the information page for each episode, wherever you're listening, like on Apple Podcasts. They contain a link to our newsletter, which has all the stories I talk about on the podcast. I hope that clears things up. So thank you, Virginia, for your email, and keep on brushing that cat. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.